Hello, and thank you for your time and continued commitment to our student success. My name is Emily Hefner, and I am presenting a strategic operational action plan designed to address a critical vulnerability in our educational system: communication accessibility for students with severe and profound disabilities. As we look to align our instructional technology with our core mission of human dignity and student agency, this plan lays out a clear, interdisciplinary framework to eliminate communication gaps. By the end of this presentation, I will be asking you for your endorsement in a modest budget authorization to turn these systemic challenges into measurable student growth. Before looking at our strategy, let's first examine the exact nature of the problem we are aiming to solve. In our day school facilities, we have acquired state of the art assistive technology. However, physical possession of an iPad or dynamic display communication device does not equate to communication access. We know the ultimate barrier of AAC usage is almost never the students themselves, it's a systemic failure surrounding them. These failures manifest in three critical areas. First, the inconsistent staff training across different classrooms. Second, a complete loss of communication when a student is physically repositioned out of their chairs and for therapy or sensory activities. And third, a cultural and linguistic disconnect when these tools cross into non-native English-speaking homes. To build a robust system that supports these students, we have organized an operational response to strategic, straightforward overview. Let's take a moment to look at the bigger picture. In this next section, I will walk you through the why, the what, and the specific desired results of this intervention. The strategic framework ensures every dollar spent and every hour of professional development directly contributes to compliance, equity, and student agency. Let's begin with the why, the human and operational cost of this intervention. There are three primary driving factors that make this action plan an urgent priority for our school system. First, student agency and behavior. When a student with severe or profound disabilities has their device taken away or left just out of reach, they essentially lose their voice. The isolation directly triggers frustration, leading to behavioral crisis and lost instructional hours. Secondly, equity and funding. Our non-native English-speaking families often face immense barriers at home. Without translated training, a dynamic AAC system becomes an expensive paperweight once school hours have ended, disrupting learning continuity. And third, physical limitations. During repositioning or adaptive physical education, students are out of their customized wheelchairs. In those moments, they are completely silenced because we lack a robust, low-technology option. This plan addresses all three areas systematically. Now that we understand the why, let's examine the what we are proposing to do about it. Our solution is built upon two distinct yet complementary pillars of intervention. Pillar 1 focuses on systemic capability. We are ending isolated, siloed classroom practices. We are implementing mandatory professional development pathways for all staff and instituting a structured clinical framework that tracks day-to-day deployment and modeling and usage of AAC systems. Pillar 2 centers on equitable access. We are designing physical and cultural bridges. This means acquiring durable hardware mounts and alternative switches interfaces for positional changes, and translating parent-facing materials to empower ESL families. This dual-track approach ensures that technology is not just available, but actively and consistently utilized. We must define what success looks like. Let's review our targeted outcomes and key metrics. We have set 4 rigorous benchmarks to measure the return on this operational investment. First, 100% continuous access. Every student in our multi-needs program will have physical access to active or passive communication tools throughout the entirety of their day, no exceptions. Secondly, execution fidelity. We will measure implementation in real time. Principals and instructional coaches will use standardized quarterly observation checklists during our collaborative feedback cycles. Third, home continuity. We will measure parent engagement through attendance at our high-impact bilingual parent training workshops. And fourth, interdisciplinary collaboration. We will shift to a monthly structured reviews where speech pathologist, occupational therapist, physical therapist, and behavior analysts audit student communication access plans collectively. Now let's pivot to the operations, how we execute this plan, how we resource it, and how we map this timeline. With the strategic rationale established, let us address the operational execution. In this section, I will lay out the precise phases of work, our budget requirements, and our timeline milestones. Phase 1 is scheduled for Q1 and is designed to build our internal competency. On the left, we address mandatory professional development. In collaboration with our assistive technology team, we will launch a 3-part, 60-minute curriculum for all classroom teachers, therapists, paraprofessionals, and administrators. This ensures everyone speaks the same communication framework language. On the right, we establish our interdisciplinary AAC teams. These monthly clinical roundtables, consisting of SLP, OT, PT, BCBA, teachers, and administrators, will proactively audit student cases, solving physical mounting challenges and sharing instructional successes. The principal and SLP are directly accountable for driving the monthly cycle. Once we establish teamwork framework, phase 2 implements physical and environmental adaptation. Phase 2 addresses physical positioning and cultural barriers. When a student is placed in an adaptive stander or positioned on therapy mats and wedges, we cannot allow their communication to be interrupted. This phase outlines out of chair plans. We will purchase and mount heavy duty switches, waterproof communication boards, and flexible adaptive arms to ensure their communication system moves with them. Simultaneously, we will roll out our translated ESL materials to conduct parent training sessions and ensure that home-to-school communication remains unbroken. Let's look at the financial requirements to make these physical adaptations possible. To execute this program with fidelity, we are requesting a total budget of $3,500. This budget is highly optimized. $1,000 will be allocated to adaptive seating and heavy-duty mechanical mounting arms. $500 is dedicated to printing and laminating custom low-tech waterproof backup communication boards, and $2,000 will cover the alternative access tools, including specialty switches and portable adapters. Our training program and bilingual family outreach have no direct capital cost, as we are strategically realigning existing translators, SLPs, and instructional coaches. This represents an incredibly low financial risk for an exceptionally high clinical return. Let's look at the timeline to see how these funds are deployed across the upcoming school year. Our implementation roadmap is structured for immediate action and long-term sustainability. At the start of Q1, we will launch our mandatory 3-part professional development curriculum. By the middle of Q1, our interdisciplinary teams will be formalized and meeting monthly. Simultaneously, we will begin purchasing and preparing physical mounts and switch devices. By late Q1 and early Q2, we will transition to implementation, printing specialized communication boards and launching bilingual outreach initiatives. Finally, we enter our quarterly cycle. This is where principals and instructional coaches conduct formal classroom-level fidelity audits. This ensures accountability, prevents programmatic drift, and keeps our focus strictly on student communication success. By approving the $3,500 budget and a structured operational framework, we can transition our therapeutic school setting from simple technology ownership to active, continuous, and equitable student communication. We can give our most vulnerable students a consistent voice. Thank you for your partnership, your advocacy, and your support in this initiative. I'm now happy to open the floor to your questions, comments, and feedback. And please let me know if you're interested in observing our student population.